Carl Jung talks a lot about archetypes and how certain symbols permeate all human culture and are so important. So in our dreams and in our consciousness and very interesting. If you're you should look into a little bit more. But you talked about squaring the circle, and let's look back at the beginning of official history, civilization, and we have Stonehenge. And here you can see we have this pattern where essentially we're squaring the circle. Along with Stonehenge, the other most iconic ancient structure is the Great Pyramids. Most importantly, the Great Pyramid of Giza. It also has the same proportions in there, these very important geometric proportions, which again go through across cultures and is just so important in understanding the mysteries. And well, not only is it geometric, but it also describes our Earth and our Moon, in that the ratio of the Earth to the Moon is above 99.9%. Shown here, this same diagram, this same geometry, which was of course in Stonehenge, is in the Great Pyramid and many other places. And there's also some really cool links to this number that especially 27.3, which is in weights and the measures and the architecture across the ancient world and still carries on to this day. Very special, very important public buildings, and very clever architects know this and use this. But not only does the Great Pyramid have the proportions of Earth and Moon, it's a three-dimensional object. So if we look at if we stand on the northwest corner and we take those measurements there and we multiply them by the number of seconds per day, we get the circumference, equatorial circumference of the Earth, which is only recently with the satellite age have we improved on this. And over time, the Earth is not locked in stone. It's a dynamic object, and so even the Earth may have changed its size ever so slightly, caused to various forces that goes on. So if you stand at the northwest corner and you look at the base of a pyramid, what you're seeing is the Earth's speed per second, and so 86,400 seconds per day. Now, what if we multiply the height of the pyramid? So the maximum observable base gives us the equatorial circumference. The maximum observable height of the pyramid times by 86,400 gives us the polar diameter of the Earth. And the Earth bulges at the equator and is slightly flattened at the top. And so this level of knowledge is hugely important, once again, to navigation. So, if you want to be a very precise, competent navigator, you need to understand the difference between the equatorial measures and the polar measures, and we have them here in the pyramid. Take a 1 meter pendulum, swing it no more than 30 degrees. That section of arc is 0.5236 meters, which is exactly one Egyptian royal cubit has used in the Great Pyramid. That will give you an 86,400 seconds per day. The cubit equals a meter equals a second. The pyramid equals the Earth equals the Moon, and includes so much profound knowledge. Now, just as a point, you might run off and look at the first search and you'll get the dimensions of a pyramid. What you need to do is go a little bit further and consider the fact that at the corners we had what's called the sockets, and the pyramid itself stands on paving stones called the socle. The socle will give you the extra height, and the sockets will give you the extra width, which proportion the Earth to the Great Pyramid at 86,400. This can be measured, can be tested. It's fair to be seen. It's not some kooky out there thing. It's just another layer of multiple layers of engineering, mathematical perfection in the Great Pyramid, and it's the Hermetic code in its ancient most origin.